With the release of patch 1.09, Riot has finally pulled out the nerf bat onto this disgusting gun and have officially dropped some nerfs on the operator. As the meta has been shaping into place, so many players, myself included, have been crying about how broken this gun is and how it needs to be nerfed into the ground. For those who weren't aware of this, let me do a rundown of the nerfs that were done. The price of the operator has gone up from 4,500 to 5,000 credits, your movement speed while scoped in was decreased from 76% to 72%, and there is a smaller window for accurate shots while moving now, being reduced from 30% move speed down to 15%, meaning that you have to be even more still while shooting. The fire rate was also reduced from 0.75 to 0.6 shots per second, and the instant equip time got increased from 0.3 to 0.5 seconds. This applies in situations like tapping orb, defusing the bomb, and other small interactions like that. Leg shot damage finally was reduced from 127 to 120 as well. So as you can see, it was quite the heavy set of nerfs overall, which in practice makes the operator much clunkier and less reliable to use in general. In addition, they've also nerfed the general recovery speed of your aim after dropping from a jump, making jump peaks much less viable as well. Many players using the operator were able to abuse this easily and were so hard to answer, especially in the higher tiers of play. Although this nerf hits all the weapons in the game, the operator was by far the strongest defender of this strategy. With this in mind, there are some things that the operator will still feel generally the same at because the core effectiveness of the gun will remain the same. For example, if you raw peek an opera at a long corridor, you will more than likely still get beamed instantly, and you will still need to use utility to break through the gap. So that frustrating part won't really change because the reality is that the gun is supposed to perform this way by design. However, these nerfs do emphasize some of the gun's weaknesses, which will be highlighted quite a bit more with these changes. The first one that comes to mind is the price. With it being pushed up to 5,000 credits, the op goes from an automatic purchase when you can to something that's actually quite scary to hold, as it's a huge economical investment packed into one gun. Considering that you only usually get around 3,000 credits per round, win or loss at most, and you can only hold 9,000 credits at most, holding 5,000 credits in your hand places a ton of pressure on the player using the op and makes it much more precious of a gun to hold. This, being paired with some of the offensive nerfs that the gun has received, will reduce the amount of times you'll see operas go crazy all over the map and will instead find much more reasonable angles that they'll be holding, and much more defensive play altogether. In addition to this, pushing against an operator with multiple players will now be much easier thanks to the reduction in fire rate that the gun has received. This essentially translates into the gun having much larger windows between each shot, which means that if you don't send all the boys in at once, you will have a very good chance of being successful in your push and will likely get some sort of trade-off. All of these other nerfs that the gun has received basically also has slowed down the operator's ability to react instantly to other rifles. The point of the operator is supposed to be able to have time to set up and then get the highly powerful shots it's known for, and not for being able to quick scope people on the fly, so it's very healthy for the state of the game to have this. Operators should not be able to get back-to-back shots that easily, and they should not be able to instantly out-aim and kill a rifler at ease. The endgame result of these changes is that the op will not be able to win against multiple rifles at once anymore. It will not be able to beat a rifle in terms of speed most of the time, which is frankly how it should be, and is a much healthier way to balance the gun. When combined with the increased price tag and pressure on operators not to wreck their team's economy, I think we'll see the operator come down in power and we will see a lot more success with rifles in ranked play. I still think the gun though would be disgusting at higher ranks and especially in competitive, as players will still be able to make most of these changes and draw out the full power of the gun, but these nerfs are definitely a step in the right direction.